Hi everybody, it's week 5 on Schoology. So this week we're going to wrap up our unit on local government and we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be a citizen of the United States. So let's get started. So last week we were talking about Pennsylvania's government. This week we're going to go a little bit smaller. We're going to talk about our county and our town. So this lesson is how to run your town. So technically, local governments serve at the pleasure of the states. That is to say, the states control how much power they have. The states can take control. The states can create local governments. They can destroy them. They can overrun them. Technically, all of these local governments are at the mercy of the state. So when you talk about local government, you're talking about 4 different things. So we'll start with the biggest and work our way down. So states are divided up into counties. So if you see here, we are Franklin County. We're almost exactly in the middle, like a triangle or an arrowhead shape. So Pennsylvania has 67 counties. If we look at Franklin County, like I said, it's kind of shaped like a triangle. It's home to 6 school districts: Chambersburg, Fannett Meadow, Greencastle, Shippensburg, Tuscarora, and of course us here in Waynesboro. You can see where we're at in the state. We're kind of the bottom corner here. And so the part of Franklin County we're in the state House of Representatives, is District 33. Maybe you remember that from last week. So this is what District 33 looks like. It spans a little bit of 3 counties. And if you remember from last week, your senator in District 33 is Doug Mastriano. I won't go too much into his biography because I told you last week. But remember, he was a colonel in the U.S. Army. His regiment actually led attacks against Saddam Hussein's elite guard in the Persian Gulf War. He has a PhD in history, 4 master's degrees. He's a very well educated man, and he's new to the job here in Pennsylvania. This is his first term as our senator. So we started with counties. So the next one down in terms of getting smaller is a township. Township just means like it's a subdivision of a county. So it's just the next step down. Franklin County has 15 townships, and our school district spans 3 of them. It's mostly Washington Township and Quincy Township, but we also touch a little bit of Guilford Township. Let me show you here on the map. So this in the red here is Washington Township, and then this over here is Quincy Township. And then if you look at this map where the different school districts are, you see Waynesboro has Washington Township here, and then Quincy Township, and then also a little bit of Guilford Township as well. So next, going down in scale are municipalities. Just means towns, boroughs, cities, villages. Um, Only 6 states have boroughs, and Pennsylvania is one of them. So it's like the borough of Waynesboro, the borough of Mont Alto. Um, as far as I can tell, it just means a town. Like I said, only 6 states decide to call their towns boroughs. Our municipality falls into PA House District 90, if you remember from last week, in the Pennsylvania House. So our representative in the Pennsylvania House is Paul Schemmel. You probably remember him from last week. So this is an even more complicated map. If you remember, Pennsylvania has a Senate and a House. It's like a mini United States. So these are all the House districts, and we are down here in District 90, right down there. Again, I told you this last week, so I'll just remind you real quick. Representative Schemmel, he is a lawyer. He taught at Penn State Mont Alto. He's on the Greencastle Borough Council, so he's well experienced in the law and government. So this is Mr. Schemmel's office. It's out in Wayne Heights. It's across the street from Tractor Supply. I've gone out there, talked to him several times. He's a good person to talk to. He can answer your questions. He'll be happy to help you. So when you're talking about these local governments and we're talking about boroughs and townships, as far as I can tell, the state of Pennsylvania lets these local governments rule themselves as they see fit. By which I mean Some of them have decided to have managers, some of them have councils, some of them have supervisors, some of them can have mayors. The only pattern that I can find to any of this is that the boroughs tend to have mayors, whereas the townships tend to have councils or supervisors. So what I mean is Quincy is a township, so that is the Quincy Township building up there. Being a township, they don't have a mayor, they have supervisors. And then Mont Aldo, their local government meets there. Maybe you've seen that building, it's like right in the Mont Aldo Square. Mont Alto is a borough, so they do have a mayor. It's kind of a tricky system. And then Waynesboro, technically being a borough, has a mayor. So this is our mayor, Mayor Starlipper. And then Waynesboro also has a council. But then Washington Township, being a township and not being a borough, they just have supervisors. They don't have a mayor. And then we said there was four types. So the smallest type is what they call like special districts. These are like specialized groups that exist for a local function. The most common example in most towns is a school board. So this is our school board. Um, as you can see, there's 9 members. They're all elected. They represent the different areas of the school district. It's an unpaid position. These folks are volunteers. They work a lot of hours to try and make our school a better place. And so you might say, well, what is the point of all these local governments? Um, it's providing for the needs of the people. So you're talking clean water, education, safe roads, the police, fire safety, recreation. So for most local areas, the number one most expensive thing is education. Um, do you have a guess for how much Waynesboro spends on the school district? So Waynesboro spends roughly $60 million to run the school district. For most areas, it's the most expensive thing they run. For most areas, the second most expensive thing are public utilities. So you're talking like water, electricity. And then for most areas, the third most expensive thing is fire and police services. Another thing that the local governments take care of is recreation areas. And of course, this is all done through your taxes. These are the sorts of things that your tax dollars pay for. And most of that tax money comes from property taxes. So it's taxed locally, and then the money stays locally. Um, so, in order to determine how much you're going to be taxed, they have to know what the property is worth, and that's called assessment. It's determining the value of the property. Assessments are done when a property is bought and sold, so it's not too often, but that's how they determined how much the property taxes are. And of course, another source of income for local governments is money from like fines, like parking violations, speeding tickets, anything like that. So that's it for this one. As you can see, local government, I mean, we talk a lot about the federal government, we talk a lot about the states, but there's a lot that affects us that's done right here at home in the community. So it's really important. Um, I have just a few questions for you in Schoology and also a reading for you on the census. So make sure you check that out and answer the questions, and I'll see you next time.